Welcome to our podcast on navigating chaos with AncientFuture.Today and the Grand Council.
And so we welcome you to this particular conversation, if you will, to the topic of reorganizing. Now, we have just spoken in the last 2 weeks of explaining and complaining, and we have urged you to be purposeful in whatever activity you have undertaken during these times of chaos. And many of you have been very purposeful and not frenetic in the ways that you have gone about things. And you've already jumped into the reorganizing of your lives. You are planting gardens communally or in your own homes, or using your front yards for that if you have a home and a yard. If you are living in a tent city and you are listening to this, you will understand the sorts of organizing and reorganizing that has gone on in these communities so that there is more available to more people, because some of you have recognized that your own thriving will come as a result of these reorganizations. Much of the governments of your countries all over the world have been reorganized without all of you being aware of it in some ways. Your legislations and your actual politicians. Some have been removed from offices. Some have been invited to retire early. Some have been warned thoroughly that if they continue their nefarious activities, that they will no longer be available, and nor will they be welcome in those positions of power and authority. Your police departments have been reorganized depending on your communities. Some of them have been reorganized in ways that are very more cooperative and very more reflective of the law enforcement being there to protect the public rather than to do whatever it is that all of you think they have been doing recently in relation to maybe 50, 60, 70 years ago in some of your countries. And other countries that are still under the thumbs of dictators or pontiffs or whatever you wish to call the individuals who relegate power unequally and relegate power to their own advantages rather than to that of the people. They are still in place, many of them, and their militaries and their law enforcements are still in place in many cases. And so you will see ongoing chaos and navigating chaos at different stages in different places on your planet. And this is how it is happening. Many of you have gotten to the place in your own lives where you have said, okay, we hear you, we know that we have been complaining, and now we're looking through what it is that we cannot digest, and we are starting to let go of our need to explain it somehow so that we do not stick ourselves in a particular paradigm of explanation. And so we are just getting on with what we see as a reorganization of our lives, whether it is clearing out the clutter in our home, donating it to people who really can use it. We haven't even seen it for years. Or if it is not having a home, figuring out with what resources are available, do we really need a home that we would have needed before the chaos? Or could we actually be happy with living communally with people and putting our resources together and reorganizing our lives that way? What about finances? How are we reorganizing that? Many are saying the stock market is going to implode. Well, did we take our money out, or did we leave it in with the faith that it too will survive the chaos? And if we lost our funds, then how are we going to reorganize our budgets, reorganize our tastes, reorganize our habits, reorganize our thinking about our resource base? Same for the collective. Those of you who are involved in social services, or you are involved in local governments, or you are involved in community work of any shape or size or orientation, how are you reorganizing so that things are more equitable? Or are you reorganizing so they are even more unequal? This is what we would ask you to contemplate and to really be rock bottom honest with yourselves as you move through the chaos. If you are in a reorganizing energy and a reorganizing time, as we say, there are different rhythms through which and in which people are moving through navigating the chaos. So some of you will be stuck in and still complaining, while others of you are reorganizing. And when the chaos becomes easier for everyone to see and to explain and to look back on and say, wow, now that was an experience. And boy, did we learn that we are all in the same boat, except how come some people are still in the upper berths with lots of clean air to breathe and banquets to eat, and many of us are still down here in steerage. So you will see that even though reorganizing is taking place, not everybody has a unified, one world sort of attitude toward how things can and would look after the chaos is moving more smoothly, perhaps, for more people on your planet. You will have many people leaving your planet because they do not wish to be part of the reorganizing. Some of them will be surprises to you. They will be young, or they will be healthy, or they will be seemingly fine. And then all of a sudden, or progressively, depending on how they choose to go, they will take their leave of the chaos as it presents itself on your planet these days. And whilst you will grieve their passing, you will also, if you will, recognize that this is their choice. Otherwise, they would stay. And it may look as if they were hard done or they were murdered through whatever means they received or did not receive, in whatever timely manner you think that they might have survived that demise of their lives. And yet, everything will prove eventually, when you yourself pass, you will find out the truth that when they passed, it was perfect for them, and how they passed was perfect for them, for their soul's journey. This is part of the truth of chaos that is immutable in the universe, in the multiverse, that each soul does have its own movement through time and space, and there is order to the chaos in this one thing. And many times with your lives as they are defined by this, that, or the other, and the inability for humans to be able to see a bigger picture, normally you are unable to be objective about these things because, of course, your relationships are part of the reason why you incarnate, is to have those relationships, to have those people next to you, or at least accessible to you in one way or another. And when those relationships are no longer tangible or real or physical, it feels to most of you as if the relationships have ended, which is how the human views ongoing existence. Some believe when you die, you rot. Others, or you are burned and you are gone. Others of you believe that the soul is eternal, and you have your own narratives about how that works, and that people will be with Jesus or Mohammed or whomever, and inaccessible to their loved ones back on little old planet Earth. And all of that is not true either. It is true that all is one. And so if that is true, and if we are not giving you yet another lie to deal with, it is possible for you to be in communion with any and everything and one that you wish to, if you develop your skills as masters on a masterful journey. If you remember that you are divine in human form, you are divinity, you are part of all that is. And one part of all that is can obviously connect other parts of all that is, given right space, right action, right skills. So depending on how important all of that is to you, to touch in with long lost ones or loved ones here, there, or wherever, perhaps that will be part of how you reorganize your life. You will learn those skills and you will spend time in those circles of people who have learned how to do that and do have proof positive for themselves and with each other that these things are possible. And perhaps your reorganization will just be in your own way of using your own wiring. If you are a highly strung person, perhaps you will really reorganize that energy that is like fire or like an open electrical wire that is sparking everywhere. Perhaps you will learn to use that extraordinary energy and wiring in other ways by reorganizing how you relate to your energy and how you use your energy in relating to others and to your work and to the cosmos. More and more of you are reorganizing your lives to really get to know the planet, your hostess. And many of you are walking on her surface for the first time ever in a regular way. Many of you are driving to her sacred sites or her beauty sites, or just driving somewhere to get out of the house because you are so tired of seeing the four walls. And you are moving into the meadows and the forests and the beaches and the lakes and those of you in the cities are starting to notice the birds and the trees and the leaves and the sunshine and the beauty that is nature and surrounds all of you and invites all of you to stay as guests on planet Earth. There is a lot of reorganizing to be done on your planet. And if you do it with a heart full of love and a system full of faith, in the sense that life will go on, whether you're there to witness it or not, and that as long as you are there to witness it, that you have the right to live your life according to your blueprint, according to your wiring, according to the mission that you have given yourself for this one precious life. So if you have reorganizing to do, we invite you to do that if you are at a place to do that. And if you are not quite there yet, just keep on complaining, keep on questioning the explaining that you are being given or being exposed to. Be careful not to do much of it yourself unless you really are an authority on the cosmos and how chaos works. And we do not even pretend to be that for you. We are just one opinion in the cosmos, asking you to stop and think about how you are navigating through chaos. How are you organizing your one precious life? And until we have the pleasure and the honor and the privilege of working in this way with each and all of you who are listening now and into future, we ask you to draw your own conclusions, to live according to what you know to be true, to be honest with yourself and all others, and above all, to be self-loving and loving of all life in, on, and around your planet. Our love and every blessing, and until we meet again, adieu.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Navigating Chaos, podcasts with the Grand Council.